Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Doug Deason.
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm here to introduce Alice Marie Johnson. So I'm going to describe a little bit, and you may or may not know who I am, probably don't. I'm an activist donor, big Trump supporter, live in Dallas, Texas. My passion, Dallas. I'm criminal justice reform, and that's what I spend the majority of my time doing. I've been advisor to Jared Kushner and now Brooke Rollins for almost 3 years in the White House on criminal justice reform policy. And we've done some great work. We've passed the First Step Act. We formed a public-private partnership with the White House, Florida State University, and the Charles Koch Institute and the Deason Foundation. It's called Safe Streets and Second Chances. We've worked on the implementation in the last year of the First Step Act, and we fought, frankly, a reluctant Justice Department and Bureau of Prisons to try and get it implemented, but slowly but surely we are. We've done workforce reentry. We've taken employers who employ formerly incarcerated citizens to the White House, and it's fun to watch them visit with Jared. Jared is always so fascinated. Alice Marie and I work together. We're both, I'm a sponsor of Right on Crime, and she's now a fellow at Right on Crime, which is a nationwide criminal justice reform advocacy group. On June 6, 2018, her life sentence was for nonviolent drug trafficking was commuted by our wonderful, passionate president. That one act of grace has changed him forever, and we saw it. We saw him before and after. He's now a CJR activist right along with the rest of us. And I want to make clear to everyone here, we're all conservatives, and conservative criminal justice reform advocates believe in safety first. It's always about safety to the public. Anything we push, anything we advocate for. And that's, Alice feels the same way. Alice has renewed my faith in criminal justice reform. She's an ordained minister. She's a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother. You may remember her. She was at the president's guest at the 2019 State of the Union. So anyhow, I'm proud to introduce a friend, a spiritual leader, and a partner in crime. She's got a book, Alice Marie Johnson, Afterlife. I highly recommend you read it. It will literally change your life. It'll make you see our criminal justice system in a new way. Alice Marie Johnson, I love you. Here she comes.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, CPAC. It is a great day to be free. I'm very grateful for that wonderful introduction from not only a friend, but a fellow criminal justice reform activist and one of the heroes in this movement, Doug Deason. Thank you, Doug. I've become a well-known face in the criminal justice reform movement. Some of you may have watched the Super Bowl and saw that I was the president's Super Bowl ad. My life has been totally changed by President Trump. And I want to tell you just a little bit about my story. For those of you who don't know, I made a mistake. I take full responsibility for doing something that was wrong, but I paid a very dear price for it. I was married at a very, very young age. At 15, I found myself pregnant and married. My relationship with my husband lasted 19 years, my marriage did. We had 5 children together. It was a very tumultuous marriage. I became a manager at FedEx. My parents were very strong Christians. They believed in working hard for the things that you wanted. I even picked cotton. So I grew up in a working family. After 10 years of employment with FedEx, and during that time, I was a manager in computer operations because of hard work. I became a manager in customer support. And at one time, I even trained others to become managers. I was one of the ones who graduated from the Malcolm Baldrige Quality Institute. So I taught also about the quality assurance process and having quality action teams. After 19 years of marriage, I found myself a divorced mother of 5 with absolutely no support. I met someone and I started gambling, and I literally became addicted to that. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. And I lost my job. When I lost my job, my life started spiraling out of control. Bill collectors were calling. I had a daughter in college and another daughter about to enter college and another son right behind her that would be entering college. An opportunity, and I'm going to call it just what it was. It was an opportunity from hell. You see what's right before you right now, but you never ever see the end. It'll always take you. Sin will take you further than you ever thought you would go. An offer came to me during this bad time in my life to be what is called a telephone mule. It sounds simple enough. My phone, because I'd never been involved in any criminal activities, you would be basically our operator. You make the call, they won't know who you are, you're not selling, you're not using, and then you tell them what number that they can reach. When everything fell down, all of this happened crazily for me. I'd lost, my youngest son was killed in a terrible scooter accident when he was 12 years old. I found myself going even crazier because I'm, at this point, no insurance and trying to still maintain the facade of not being really going out of my mind. But when everything fell apart, I found myself in a drug conspiracy. And now I'm listed as, because I've got all of the phone records, I'm now the leader. I'm now pushed up from being a participant because I chose to exercise my right to go to trial. Everything became enhanced. After a 6-week trial and an 11-person jury, I was convicted of attempted drug possession, not possession, but attempted, and sentenced to life plus 25 years in prison without the possibility of parole. I sat in that courtroom and I heard my parents, my father, who's a strong man, overcome with emotion, sobbing. I saw my children screaming. I saw my family going crazy because I never even knew when I went to be sentenced until right before then that a life sentence was even on the table. And I couldn't even tell my family that I'm now looking at a life sentence because I never knew that. I was offered 3 to 5 years to plead, and it turned into a life plus 25-year sentence after being convicted in trial. I had to say goodbye to my family. I was sent 1,500 miles away from home, and I was told that the only way that I would ever rejoin my family would be as a corpse. I had a family member tell me that visiting me in prison was like visiting a graveyard because they could come and see the place where my body lay, but they could never, ever take me back home again. But I made a decision when I went to prison that I am not going to allow anyone to take my life. I am going to make a difference in this place that I'm at. So I started writing plays. I started mentoring women. I started counseling women. I put together the first ever Special Olympics for women who had physical and mental challenges, and for that I received an award from the National Special Olympics. I started sitting with women who were on hospice care because I felt to die alone in a lonely place somehow stripped away every little bit of dignity that a person has. The things that I was able to accomplish in prison was also called unprecedented. I was able to bring light into a place that only is supposed to be darkness because I went there, but I didn't go by myself. The Lord was with me every step of the way. And because of the impact that I had in prison, the warden got involved, my captain got involved, staff members got involved, and they started writing letters asking for this woman to be set free because of the difference that I made in every place that I had gone. But unfortunately, I was bypassed 3 times for clemency. I was denied clemency on 3 different occasions. I'd been speaking, doing something at the prison to universities, Google and YouTube platforms. You ask me how in the world I did this. Now I don't know. But I did have permission to do it because no one else has ever done such a thing. It caught the attention of Mike, and they asked me to do a video op-ed. This video op-ed went viral. Kim Kardashian saw it the next day after it went viral. Someone, she said that she had not even been on her phone, but someone retweeted it to her. We know that it was divine intervention. And she said that when she saw my story, that she tweeted out, "This is so unfair." And by the way, I had no idea who Kim Kardashian West was. I had to get pictures and ask people to show me who she looked like because I had figured that since her lawyer contacted me, I had my daughter Google Sean Holly, and I saw the Jenners and Kardashians were some of her clients. And so I thought it was Kris Jenner. I said, I got it. My daughter said, what if it's Kim Kardashian West? And I said, Kim who? And anyway, the rest became history. Kim reached out to Ivanka Trump, who showed my case, who notified her husband, Jared Kushner. They had assembled a team of lawyers, attorneys from every coast, and they called themselves Team Alice. Ivanka and Jared became a part of Team Alice. And on my birthday, May 30th, Kim got an audience with President Donald Trump. 7 days later, the world watched as I ran across the street, and you watched it too in the Super Bowl ad, and rejoined my family. The president's heart was touched when he saw my case. I became the face of the need for a broken criminal justice system to be fixed. I became a face of compassion, of redemption, of grace, and of second chances, because that is what this country has been built upon. President Trump, thank you. President Trump asked me at Benedict College when he received an honor for the work that he did in pushing and signing the First Step Act, the first bipartisan bill that had been signed in 30 years in criminal justice, the first piece of legislation that focused more on redemption and grace rather than punishment. And I believe, as Doug said, that we should not only be right on crime, we should be smart on crime. I found with Right on Crime a partnership, a place that I could come and share my same core values, which are faith, family, and a love for this country. And we have been able together to do some incredible work also on the state level. I've joined with other advocates also who have put politics aside and say this is not about politics, it's about people. When the president asked me at Benedict College to help identify some other worthy candidates, because I spent 21 years, 7 months, and 6 days in federal prison. And I had an opportunity to meet a lot of women who were also deserving. I brought that list to him. And last week, 3 of the women who were on that list, he gave a second chance to. The same second chance that he gave me. Once again, the commitment that he made for second chances, and as he's made criminal justice reform a very, very important part of his administration, last week was only an example of promises made, promises kept. So I want to thank all of you today and everyone who has made this an important issue for them, because it's more than just a social justice issue. This is a humanitarian issue. I want to thank you all for your support, and I love you for how well you have received me. God bless you, and God bless America.